Well, here we are. Rafael Nadal loses against Novak Djokovic in the second round. I've made it, despite some people thinking I wouldn't be here today. We're going to be dissecting the whole match. Ben, very happy, of course. And I am very, very upset because Rafael Nadal was obliterated by Novak Djokovic today. And I'm fearing it's the end.
That's right, people. It is not the end of Rafael Nadal, but Novak Djokovic through to the third round and only a few matches away from Olympic gold. That is the main takeaway from today. Rafael Nadal, he wasn't expected to do too well. The bookies had him at 5.5 before the match kicked off, which has got to be one of the worst odds I've ever seen Rafael Nadal at, especially against Djokovic. And the first set, I thought this is going to be a double bagel or something. It wasn't. We had a little bit of a turbulent time in the middle of the second set, Rafa resurgence, but ultimately Novak got it done, and I can breathe a sigh of relief for now.
Yes, Novak Djokovic never bageling either Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal. That can stay intact, but that's about it, really. Nothing else to get too excited about if you're a Rafa fan. My assessment of the match, of course, is obvious disappointment to begin with. I did feel like it was always going to be a massive ask for Nadal to beat Djokovic, but I don't think it was that crazy of a suggestion. I thought he was very slow to get into the match. Djokovic bullied him. He moved him around, and Nadal looked off balance, couldn't handle the pace and precision of Djokovic. The moment Nadal looked a little bit more comfortable, Djokovic pulled out a drop shot, and they happened several times throughout that first set and the start of the second as well, where he was getting bullied. It really felt like a player who is 300, 400 in the world versus a top 5 player. And I mean, it's not too far off. I think Nadal's 160 or something, but he's certainly probably not even performing at that level right now, because there's only moments, and I did say this yesterday, we're only going to get good moments from Rafael Nadal. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough good moments and sustained pressure to be able to deal with Djokovic. He played actually a really good match, Djokovic, so credit to him. I wouldn't say, in fact, he played better than I was anticipating he would play. And off the level we saw from him today, I mean, he's actually got some hopes, I think, to get to that final. I don't think it's enough for Carlos Alcaraz, if Alcaraz is there, but still, it was impressive enough to go far at the Olympics. Nadal, what it now means to him, that's what I'm worried about. I said in my intro, is this now the end? You're saying, no, of course it's not the end of Rafael Nadal. What makes you think it's not? Because if I'm a Rafa fan speaking, I don't see the need or desire to watch Rafael Nadal in these kind of matches, I'm afraid. It was lovely. I liked the fight back we saw, but if he cannot win titles, this is the second round, bearing in mind, if he cannot win titles, if he cannot compete in Grand Slams, what's the point of playing? All he's going to do is just ruin some of his numbers and records. I mean, before today, he's lost 4 matches at Roland Garros on Philippe Chatrier. He's now lost another one. I mean, if he keeps going next year, he's probably going to go out first, second round to Offner or someone at Roland Garros, because it doesn't matter who it is, he's just not quite there. And a lot of players will be able to pick him off, especially some of the younger, hungrier, top players on the tour. So what is the motive behind Rafael Nadal continually keep playing if he can't win these events? Roger Federer said he can no longer win the big ones. He packed it in. So Rafael Nadal, he has his own. He can retire whenever he wants, and I don't want the day to come. But I think we're a lot closer than what you think we are. You keep saying to me earlier, oh, he's going to be playing Roland Garros next year because he didn't say goodbye. Who's to say he is? I mean, I don't see no need for him to play. And I think we are seeing the closing matches.
Maybe you're right. I'm not saying he was going to be competitive. That's the thing. I don't think that his career's over because he's going to suddenly come back and we'll start winning loads of tournaments. It doesn't look like that. It looks like we will see a gradual send-off now. I think that this is, like you're saying, there's more injuries. Every time we see him, there's something strapped up on him. And I don't want to say put him out of his misery, but put the fans out of their misery, because you're not really giving them anything other than like a few moments of joy during a match. But do you want to see your man getting beaten in straight sets by Djokovic? It's not really that competitive. It was competitive for maybe about 3 games. And
yeah,
that was
but Ben,
good.
there's no shame to lose straight sets to Novak Djokovic. I mean, even an informed Rafa, that can happen at the best of times. Djokovic,
Yeah, but it wasn't even
statistically one of the
close.
best players in the world. But you say it wasn't that close. I mean, at 4-love down, I believe. Is that the score in the second set? I think it was 4-love
4-1.
he was down. 4-1 down. No, it was 4-love at one
Was it?
point.
Okay.
And then Nadal managed to get it all the way back to 4-all. Listen, I was fearing the best there. Well, I was fearing the worst for Novak Djokovic. And I was just sitting there. I was excited for today. I was so excited. I was looking forward to the match. You know I was. I watched pretty much all of it. Unfortunately, we couldn't cover the match live, guys, because we was in the office and we had work to do. But I still managed to watch it because it meant so much to me. And Nadal, if we're being totally honest, he's just not someone who can win titles now or beat top players. And Djokovic still is a more top player than what Nadal is. But still,
definitely.
the moment, listen, that is purely Rafael Nadal magic, what we saw in that second set. 4-love down, brings it to 4-all, and Djokovic looked nervous, I tell you. And there was only a few little moments there, that backhand where he went long at 30-15, I think, on Djokovic's serve. And there was another one as well where it's just a big mistake. I mean, he shouted at himself, he went into the net, he shouldn't have. A few little unforced errors. If he finds them back in the court and finds them deep, we could have been looking at a third set easily. Rafael Nadal was closer than what a lot of people think, and I think he can be very proud with the effort he put into the second set. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. He's 4-love down at that point. He's given Djokovic a really good head start there, a set and 4-love, and the moments we got to see were special, some of them. I mean, I've got a tweet here. I don't know. Well, I'm sure you saw it, but I can't show it right now because I'm not allowed. But there was an outrageous point against Novak Djokovic. Unbelievable defense. Overhead off Novak's overhead. Trademark Rafa forehand to finish it off. Ridiculous tennis. Jaw on the floor. And that was helping him, I believe, to break back to get to the 4-all.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was there in the office celebrating. It meant so much. It was magical. We still got to see, despite Rafael Nadal losing in straight sets in the manner he did, because he did get obliterated for most of the match, we still got to see that fight, desire and hunger. And that is the real positive takeaway I can take from this. And I'm sure all the Rafa fans listening would have enjoyed them moments of fight from him.
Yeah, like you said, it was only moments. We knew that there was going to be a spell in the match. It seemed that there was going to be some fight. I always thought, like I said before the match, he would see Djokovic down the other end and it would ignite something inside him at some point, because he can't be embarrassed on a tennis court by someone like Djokovic. It's just not in his makeup to do that. And I like the fact that he did come back, even though I was worried. I thought Djokovic was just going to throw it away. I thought he looked nervous. I thought he was just hitting it long in the net, and then Rafa was starting to crush the ball. It scared me. But as soon as it got to 4-all, Djokovic just turned it on a little bit more again. It was really good. It was positive from Novak Djokovic, and I like the fact that he was able to step up another level when he needed to, just to see the match out.
Yeah, I mean, look at this stat. I did say it a second ago, but Nadal's now lost 5 matches at Roland Garros out of 117. 3 of them have been against Djokovic. So you got 2015, 2021 and 2024. You can't really count it because it's the Olympics. He's not quite in the Grand Slam at Roland Garros, but still it is the same court. And Nadal could have lost to a lot of players today because he's just not at the level, let's be fair. I mean, let's see what Rafael Nadal had to say after the match. I'm not sure if you've seen this. He was asked about Novak Djokovic and he said, I don't have the continuous shot quality. And without the shot quality, all the legs of 15 years ago, you're not going to create problems for the best in history. One player was much better than the other, and we have to accept it. For an hour, it was hard to digest everything what was happening, although I did it. I tried to be with the right attitude and mentality to accept it, because I knew there was a chance that the duel would go like this. I was not able to play at the level I needed, and he has not given me practically anything either. And that is credit to Djokovic, because he didn't give Nadal much to go off, and he bullied him with them drop shots. It was very reminiscent of Del Potro, Del Bonis. It felt like Djokovic had a point to prove. He was hungry. He wanted to beat Nadal very, very comfortably until he was 4-love up in the second. Nadal started hitting some good shots, and Djokovic mentally did crumble inside. And there was only a few little points there, here and there, and then that would have gone to 3 sets, and then who knows what could have happened. But I still feel like if it went to 3, Djokovic would have won the third. So the last thing he did say is, I did not have the continuous shot quality to create problems for him. I do not have the legs of 15 years ago. So without the ball quality and the legs of 15 years ago, you're not going to create problems for the best in history. And he called Djokovic the best in history. So very humble in defeat, kind words from him. And he's right. He just don't have the legs, doesn't have the shot quality, cannot be continuous and consistent enough. And it's only going to go one way if all of them things are happening.
Yeah, and you've got to think as well, he's a realist as well. Rafael Nadal is not a stupid man. Like, he's one of the smartest tennis players on a tennis court, and Novak Djokovic is also one of those as well. He looks down the other end, he sees somebody nearly the same age as him doing things that are remarkable for someone of his age, and that's something that he recognizes it. It's not like he's not blind to it. He's like, he can move much better than what I can move. He's able to do things I can't do at this age, which is just credit to Djokovic. So fair play to Nadal for actually admitting that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look here, this is a nice one. So it's match number 1 between the two of them. There was the youngest men's pair to face in a Grand Slam quarter-final this century. You wind on 59 matches later, and for match 60, oldest men's pair to face at the Olympics since tennis was reintroduced in 1988. The rivalry of a lifetime. And that's one thing I think we can all agree on. That's Djokovic and Nadal fans, or even maybe some Federer fans. You have to look at this and just say there's not really been a rivalry like it. I think they've both pushed each other to become as great as what they've done in terms of Grand Slams and success on the tennis court, and the longevity has been remarkable. I mean, Djokovic from there to there doesn't look like he's aged much at all, really. Nadal's changed a little bit more, but still the shot quality and the moments we see from him and the level of fight. Djokovic I don't think he has that. And as much as Djokovic is a great player, we don't necessarily see that fight which we see from Rafael Nadal and these real, because he had no right to come back to 4-4, and that's the real takeaway. That's the only positive I can have. But it's sad because today a part of me died. And there's going to be people probably laughing in the comments. They're going to be loving it. Oh, JG's crying. Well, have your joy. But a part of me did die today because seeing Rafael Nadal on a clay court on Shakhtar against Djokovic and not being able to really hurt him was tough to see. And you could see him just struggling to move around. Mobility was poor. And for me, it's the end of that era. Like, we're not going to now see... Listen, either of them. I don't think we're going to see either of them going that deep in Grand Slams now. I think Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner can blitz these both of them, including Djokovic. I don't look at this match today, and I thought Djokovic was excellent. He's got a good shot of getting to the final on that draw. But Alcaraz is another level right now. I don't think he can match that level. I think he'll probably lose in straight sets if he's to play Alcaraz in the final. But still, they're still being able to do it. They're still playing. It is amazing. And a part of me has died because Rafael Nadal has just not got it anymore. He simply does not have it. And he's fortunate, I think, to be 150 in the world, because he's probably there or thereabouts, maybe 200, 300.
I mean, I think you're right. I know that we were talking about earlier with the level of the match. It wasn't so high level at times. There was a lot of errors. There was a lot of mistakes. There was a few frames going long in the net, bad decision making. I thought Djokovic's first set was great, but the second set was littered with errors all over the place from both players. Rafa got it together a little bit, but I just thought Alcaraz would probably make light work of both of these two based upon today's performance, and I think the only way in my mind that Djokovic can win this gold medal is if somebody can take out Alcaraz before he gets to the final, and I'm praying for that, quite honestly.
Well, there was a few people in the crowd who enjoyed it, and Snoop Dogg was watching Nadal Djokovic with Billie Jean King today, and that was not on my Olympics bingo card. So great to see the link up of Snoop Dogg and the BJ King sitting there watching the tennis, enjoying it. And hopefully you guys did enjoy the match as much as we did. As much as it was tough to see Nadal lose, it was still a momentous occasion, something which filled me with a lot of joy in moments. And I was really pleased to see them both warming up in the tunnel, getting ready. And even at the end, I thought the hug, let me see if I've got the image of it. It was quite nice, the way they both embraced at the net towards the end. 46 Grand Slams between them. So many legendary battles. They've both won, they've both lost. But what they've created together through their rivalry and competitive fire is what will be remembered. Thank you, Rafa and Novak. And it was a very warm, kind embrace. Rafa was smiling as he approached him. And yeah, moments like this is what makes tennis great and has probably led me to be doing a podcast with you, because I wouldn't want to spend this amount of time with you otherwise.
That's it, for sure. I mean, most of the times we're speaking about it, it's in disagreement of it, but it doesn't make it any less passionate about the players that we like, and that's why we're here. These are the two players that we both really like. We both can appreciate that they are the two best players I think we've ever seen on the tennis court. I mean, Roger Federer will probably be up there as well, but these two have got the most slams.
Two phoenixes.
Yeah, I mean, they're there. I mean, Rafa on a clay court, I do agree with you to a certain extent that seeing him on Philippe Chatrier, bear in mind when we saw them both on Philippe Chatrier, that we saw probably one of the most crazy tennis matches I've ever seen in my life, and everyone said, what sport am I watching right now, because I play tennis and this is not that. That was what happened in that match, where it was about an hour and 40-minute set they played at one point. This was a match which was completely different to that. And now that's what those players, if they sat down and watched that other match after playing today, they'd be like, I think we're a little bit past it now.
Well, we've got the Australian Open final they played together as well, 6 hours and something. They've played so many finals, so many iconic matches, and we'll always be talking about them. Let's be honest. I mean, we can still be doing this podcast in 20, 30 years, and I'm sure the names of Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic will always live on. But let's wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on our reaction of the big match. Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic. Nadal, he's not heading home because he's playing the doubles with Carlos Alcaraz. Hopefully he's going to be fit enough to still play that. And Djokovic is marching on in his quest for his first gold medal. I'm unsure who he's got next. Maybe you can confirm who that is.
Kopfer.
Okay, very winnable match, that one. But I think he's got a tough draw and he's got some big players.
Is in that little section. If he wins, could be a Tsitsipas
Or Zverev
match,
as well, right?
Or Sebastian Baez. And I mean, obviously Zverev.
And then Zverev beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. We got Offner in there as well. He's playing Medvedev next. Interesting one. But down the bottom, obviously, Alcaraz is in action at the moment. He's beating Grigspor, and then I expect him to beat Safulin after that. Watch this space. Come on, Safulin. I'll be cheering him on all the way.
Right, thanks for watching, everyone. And stay strong, Rafa fans. Stay strong. Fight, fight, fight. See you soon. Bye-bye.